YouTube, what is going on? Crowder here, aka the Atlanta FaZe head coach, and I'm here to help you out with the Skid Row hardpoint spawn so you have a better ranked experience. Let's get into it. All right, so we are on P1 of the Skid Row right now, and basically you have a bottom garage spawn, a side garage spawn over here, which is either more of like the rarer spawns. You have the tunnel side spawns, which is going to be back here by the P3 area, and then you also have the back alley spawns. This is P4, I apologize. And then the P3 side of the map, the back alley spawns, or the apartment side too. So these are, your main spawns on these side. You can definitely get the close bottom garage spawn or the ticket side. Again, a little bit more rare, but it does happen. So we're going to start this video off by just letting these arrows, play out. This is a match from the Major 1. This is the same exact spawn system of Skid Row that they still have. And you can see that this is a very good way for you guys also just to learn spawns by just watching pro player matches and looking at the minimap to really help yourself out. But to further explain, you guys, you're going to see that as these kills go down, you can see where these people spawn. You can see the number 4 arrow just died and he gets the tunnel spawn. That is because we are more towards this side of the back alley and we're also blocking these garage spawns. There is a chance that number spawn can spawn in the back alley. If you guys have watched some of my videos, sometimes when a spawn is open, it happens. And that is always going to be a possibility. So that's why you can see that some of the, the white arrows obviously still making sure that nothing is going on where that guy is spawning there. And then as number 5 spawns here or dies here, he's going to spawn towards the back alley. So when you're playing on this P1, a lot of the times people will be spawning over here or on this side of the alley, and that will give you the general just kind of idea of what you need to look at when you're playing. And you can see now that we are kind of blocking that tunnel spawn and I kind of pushed up, so the kills that we're going to get are going to actually spawn them behind us that way. So that is basically simple P1 Hardpoint 101. Hopefully that helps you. And now I'm going to show you an in-game scenario just to help you out a little bit more. And now that we're back to the in-game scenarios, this time I'll be using gameplay for myself. This is a ranked play game. I'm not going super hard. We're just having some fun on stream, but you're still going to be able to see some of the decisions that I make while playing the game. So right here, if you play this and you see what's going on, I just died. I'm coming off spawn. There's 30 seconds left on this hill. You can't see right there. It's a weird time to pause. And, you look up to the top left minimap and I see that there's a guy by the garage area kind of fighting the old hill. One of my teammates is dead. Killer's coming off a spawn. And it looks like the tunnel side is open. So my assumption here is that there's 30 seconds left. P2 is a big money hill. So what I need to do is obviously rotate towards that P2 to make sure that I'm securing that next hill. And if there's a chance that they're spawning tunnel, I have to make sure I'm ready for a gunfight right here. So as I spawn in, I'm rotating and I'm going to make sure here I'm sliding and being very, very aware that there could be someone running down that tunnel. Even sometimes if that guy spawns here, this guy could still be halfway down tunnel and my teammate spawns there. It's definitely weird. So I clear out tunnel, and now once I've cleared tunnel and I see my teammate come off spawn towards the tunnel side, my next decision is going to actually be making sure I'm looking to the right, because if this teammate spawns tunnel and I just spawn garage, most likely that means they're getting that back alley spawn. If they're getting that back alley spawn, I have to turn around and watch my right. So that's exactly what I do. I throw some stuns and some grenades over toward the right side of the map just because I'm making sure these guys don't rotate. And if you pause it here, you can see that majority of the other team is actually at the old time, so there's nothing too much to worry about. But again, that is kind of how you just break down your in-game decisions of where you need to look. Now, I don't get any kills here just because this other team kind of all hit old time, but still I was able to know exactly where to look and when to look just to make sure I can actually cut off lanes. And now if these guys are all at old time and I'm holding the right side, I can relay the information. Yo, I have far right ticket side. Someone needs to get my garage. So if this guy's spawning tunnel, he runs through tunnel and gets my garage. So then we have every single thing cut off, and then we're ready for that P2. Let's move on to the next hill. And now that we're on the P2, I'm going to explain to you guys the spawn system really quick before we let these arrows play. And really quick, the first spawn is going to be the majority of a lot of the P4 area, that barbershop spawn going through the tunnel. We call it the tunnel spawn. And then, of course, you have your bottom garage spawn, like garage area. That can happen a lot. And then also this back alley spawn over here where number 5 and number 7 are. So if you let these arrows play out and some kills go down, you're going to see how this kind of plays out. But this one's pretty simple for the most part. It's not that complicated of a hill just because of how it kind of plays out, especially if you're holding this hill. It's a very, very easy hold just to watch some lanes. But you're going to see that those kills that we got, they're going to be spawning tunnel. And, that's a very predictable thing. So as we're pushing this hill, we have to know that we want to try and cross to this hill and obviously, put a pressure here. But also the people that we just got killed, we're probably going to have to kill again, and they're going to be running through tunnel. So as you're breaking this, if you're coming from over here, if number 6 spawns over by the back alley ticket side, he says, yo, most likely they're spawning tunnel. Make sure we're looking through tunnel. Throw your tacks, throw your nades, and all that stuff. So you'll know exactly kind of where to look while you're breaking and also while you're holding. So you can see, as I was saying, the back alley spawn is very, very hot. And of course, this barbershop, the P4 spawn, is also very possible. A lot of the times, if you do block, the back alley ticket side and tunnel at the same time, they will usually spawn bottom garage, which is like right in between both. That one's a little bit more rare, but in rank play, when people aren't playing super properly, definitely a very, very big thing. So if you're obviously, running through this like ticket side and you see a person like, pinch tunnel or one of your teammates spawns tunnel, know that they're probably spawning in garage. So like number 6 would have to look close right, or number 8 would have to look at the garage door. And now with the P2 spawns explained, let's show you a P2 in-game scenario. And now here's the in-game scenario for P2. Now I'm pretty sure I don't die for this entire hill, so I'm going to explain it in a little bit of a different way. So I get the tunnel spawn with P1 still up. So if you guys don't know too, I know I've mentioned this in a lot of my other videos, but just in case you're new and this is your first video you're watching, every single spawn system is activated when the hill is up, and then as soon as it switches, that's when the new spawns are up. So right now I get a tunnel spawn because it's still P1, and I'm like, oh my god, I spawned tunnel. I need to make my way over to P2. And really quickly, if I spawn tunnel on that P1, most likely they're all spawning in that back alley, right? So they're all spawning in that back alley, or they got that bottom garage spawn, depending where we're at. And you're going to see here, I get this first cutoff right now. I get this kill. I'm going to try and secure this P2 if I can. As I get this 2-piece, now those 2 kills that we just got, if you pause this mini-map and you look up, there's 3 down. What looks like we're blocking the ticket side. It looks like we're kind of over by the garage and ticket. And one of my guys is like kind of front tunnel, which means that tunnel spawn, the P4 spawn, is wide open. If it's wide open, most likely they're going to get that spawn. And then if I'm in this hill, I'm telling my teammates to either look tunnel or I can pick it up as they get garage on the right side. So you're going to see here, I get this 2-piece. I'm kind of looking around. Right here, I can analyze like my teammates over by ticket, my teammates over by garage. So those kills that we just got are probably 100% spawning tunnel. And as they spawn tunnel, I'm going to look to the left. And what do you know? The kills that we just got, that was one of the players I just killed, is coming down through tunnel. And I'm able to hold that and get a kill. Same thing again. They're getting that barber spawn, and I'm able to spawn kill those guys from the top hill. As simple as that. So hopefully that helps you out. And let's move on to the P3. And here for the P3, you're going to see one thing. The spawns are over here by the apartment side, and over here by like the garage dumpster P5/P2 side. And there are like, you know, a top and bottom middle spawn too. Again, not as common as your 2 main spawns, but depending on what you're pushed out and what you're looking at, you'll see this. But as we know, we let these arrows play out and we let some kills go down. We'll watch this mini map and show you guys exactly what's kind of going on. So right now you can see that the white arrows are coming from apartments and we're getting some kills. Since we're like, you know, on the apartment side, there's also, you know, like the number 2 is kind of towards this side of the map. He's probably going to squad spawn these guys as well there. And also that spawn is completely open. So all the kills that we just got, they're going to spawn very, very far by P2. And you can see that's a very, very deep spawn for this P3 to obviously get all the way to this P3. So it's definitely a pretty rough hill if you get spawned out on. And you're just going to see that we're all spawning on the apartment side for this hill. So this one's a pretty simple one for the most part. It doesn't get too crazy, I would say, on Skid Row. But now that you can see that, you know, more kills are going down, they get 2 kills. We got to kill. One of them spawns at the P2 dumpster. We're kind of just getting those apartment spawns over and over again. And then this is what I was about to say, too. You also have this mid spawn as well, which it looked like one of them was kind of pushed up towards that apartment side. So sometimes as well, if you're not going to get that apartment spawn, you will get that mid spawn since the number 4 is kind of blocking the P2 area. So those are the spawns basically on this P3. And this one last thing, if you notice that as number 4 kind of pushes up through the middle of the map and kills one of the players off the apartment side, he kind of like is also potentially blocking the spawn by looking at the apartment side. And since, you know, the P2 spawn is kind of wide open again, you can see that number 6 spawns behind him. But again, as you're playing this map, you will kind of understand it more and more the more reps you get of the basic areas that you need to look. So a big hotspot is obviously this alley over here. Of course, top middle. And then if you obviously are coming from the apartment spawn and you have top middle, you can get on top of this platform and look ticket and bottom garage. Or if they're spawning towards the P2, they can go through bottom middle, which is also a big cutoff as well. If you want to spawn apartments, and number 7 could look bottom middle to take this fight too. So just depending on the kills and stuff, the more lanes that you kind of get these reps with, you'll kind of understand it just a little bit more. Let's show you an in-game scenario and move on to the next hill. So here for the P3 in-game scenario, you are going to see that I'm spawning with the hard point at 37 seconds left, and I'm looking up to my mini map. I'm getting this deep garage spawn or this deep P2 spawn that I was explaining earlier. So I have a couple choices to make. I either rotate, or, you know, I play through the middle, or I hit the old time. And with 30 seconds left, I figured, like, you know, I'm going to try and make a pinch. It's rank play. I'm trying to have some fun. You can see that there's 2 top middle on this mini map right now, and then another guy just shot over there too. So as I make this pinch through, we get a 2-piece, and if I'm able to kind of pinch through here, I get the squad spawn for my team. So now if we're spawning on this side of the P3, that means that all these kills that we're getting, they're probably getting that really, really deep P2 spawn, right? So this is a really good thing now, because if we're trying to rotate towards the P4, we're in a great spot. So we get 4 dead. All those kills that we just got are probably going to be spawning out towards that P2 tunnel area. So you can see how quickly I'm trying to move across this tunnel to make sure I can get, like, you know, get across here and obviously take these fights that if they were running down... if they were running down the tunnel, I would be able to get a kill. And in this gameplay specifically, I killed myself with a grenade. That is not a part of the plan. But yeah, you can see how all of the spawn awareness is going to help you kind of know where you need to go. When you really take a look at the minimap and the arrows of where they're spawning, you can kind of get that knowledge of what you need to do. But yeah, pro tip, don't nade yourself on rotation. It doesn't look very good, especially when you're streaming and everyone makes fun of you. And now we're on P4 after I've just, gracefully naded myself. We are going to have probably the most confusing hill, I would say. P4 in general with the spawns, and then the rotation to P5 can get a little bit weird here. So P4 spawns, you're going to have the spawns of just in general. They're going to be back apartments. Top and bottom middle right here, which is going to get really, really weird, and that's why I'm kind of considering this one a confusing one. And then you also have your kind of deeper spawns out here. So if you let these arrows play out, you're going to watch what kind of happens right now. So you're going to have to wait for some kills to get down here. And as these kills go down, you're going to see where these arrows spawn. So team nade there. We're doing a really good job with these frag grenades here over on Atlanta FaZe. And you have the garage spawn here, which is going to be the first guy that spawns out. And he's going to play through bottom middle, which is the bottom middle spawn that I was kind of just explaining. And they're going to be spawning tunnel. So sometimes you would think like, you kind of should just spawn in the back and they should just spawn in the front. But you get a lot of weird spawns. As you can see, number 5 spawns and he's in the middle of the map, and then number 6 spawns apartment. It's not always the most consistent like kind of spawn system with this P4. So the way I would kind of explain this, just to give you just like some like idea of what's going on the P4, if you spawn bottom mid, there's a very strong chance that they spawned above you top mid. So sometimes you can kind of like run parallel to each other, or if you're spawning tunnel and you're going through the tunnel, there's a lot of times that that means they could be spawning top middle, and they could be or bottom middle and like running up the stairs and playing top god stairs on you. So this god stairs area is a really, really big power position for this P4, and you're going to just see like kind of why. You can see that here number 5 goes up the middle of the stairs to try and play like top middle, but this time he's going to kind of take off the rotate for that P5. So he doesn't pressure that old, but as you're just watching this spawn system just keep playing out, you're going to see that number 3 gets that bottom middle spawn. And now we're kind of spawning apartments. So this P4 one can be very, very weird. Depending on where people are on the map, you're going to either be spawning on that apartment side, getting that tunnel spawn, or you can kind of spawn on top and below each other, which makes no sense. Sometimes you get a bottom middle spawn where there's a guy up top. So playing for those god stairs through the bottom to top is a really good play. Also, just in general, if you're spawning top, you can actually hop out fire and kind of like, run to the top fire window here, take this line of sight to see if there's anyone playground, and then also pinch and or go to the god steps. So this one's a little bit of a confusing one. The more you kind of practice it and actually really are aware of these spawns happening, I think you'll get used to it. But I'm going to show you an in-game scenario to help you out just a little bit more, and then we're going to move on to our final hill. So here for the in-game scenario, I have just come back off a spawn after grenading myself, and I'm going to be making sure, with 1 second left, I'm, again, playing rank play. I'm going to pressure the old hill just because I'm having some fun, and I'm going to see if anyone's on the old hill, which obviously I know there is. So I'm going to be, expecting him to kind of hit me here with 0 seconds left. I figured he would try and pinch our spawn. But since I aim here and don't see him, I'm basically saying to myself, like, why didn't he do, like, he just took off middle to kind of go towards the P4, but I was actually completely wrong. He's actually back alley, and yeah, he doesn't really know what he's doing. But, as I'm getting these kills up top here in the middle, right? Now, I know there's 2 things that can happen. They can either spawn tunnel or below me, like I was just saying. So even though I'm up top and realistically that apartment spawn is kind of wide open, there's a possibility that someone spawns there, but there's also a high possibility that they're either spawning bottom middle garage or towards the tunnel. And even if they spawn, like, towards the tunnel, they can kind of run through the bottom middle to take a pinch through the back. So I'm going to go immediately to this fire window. I don't see anything playground, and you're going to notice that I take this fight right here, bottom middle, because I knew exactly that those guys are going to be coming off a spawn. This guy just got team naded, so he got that bottom garage spawn, and he's going to be running it down through the middle. So I play for this fight, and I end up getting killed. But again, I was kind of expecting that gunfight to happen right there. So now I spawn here. I spawn in the back apps, and this is another good play that I was going to show you guys, is if your teammates are getting kills in the scenario, which my teammates are not, you can actually spawn back apps, and it completely cut off the top middle spawn and the bottom middle spawn and the entire pinch this way, while you're kind of funneling them to only one area, right? It would be through the tunnel or through that top middle to the god stairs. And if your teammates are on god stairs, you could do a really, really kind of just nasty spawn trap. If you're holding this pinch and one of your teammates are on god stairs watching the top, that means they can only come through tunnel, and you can do a lot of damage that way. So right now I'm kind of just trolling, and I'm saying, like, I have your entire pinch, I have your entire pinch. With my teammate all dying, I should be flooding the hill right here. And I realize, it's probably time for me to flood the hill and kind of get moving. So they're probably either spawning top middle and hitting top god stairs, or they're coming through the tunnel, and so that means I have to obviously play the back of this hill and make sure I'm sliding on these guys. I get this kill here again, and they're all pressuring the old, and I die. But again, you can see just kind of how you can break down the map every time you spawn in by just using your mini map and the amount of time left on the hill. Let's move on to this last and final hill. And finally, for these P5 spawns, you're going to have like the tunnel area, the barber area spawns. You're going to have the back alley spawns. There is a top middle spawn, a bottom middle spawn, and bottom garage spawn area. Those are all the spawns that you could possibly get. So we're going to let these arrows play out and just kind of watch what happens. So as the, the white arrows are all spawning back alley for the most part, the other team's going to be kind of spawning tunnel. That's kind of the general idea of what happens on this P5 for the most part. There can be those weird times where, you know, if you're leaving garage open or if you're obviously blocking both, you can get those middle spawns. But for the most part, as you're watching it out, you're just going to see that we're kind of just getting the same spawns from across each other. So number 4 and number 6 are just spawning across the map. We're getting the tunnel versus the back alley spawn. And obviously, you know, you can try to flood this and do what you can. And you're going to see that people are trying to pinch through the middle to try and cut these people off. Now, if you can win your trades and get through garage and actually get across here, you're going to be able to really cut off people tunnel pretty badly, especially if you get into the hill. You can watch the tunnel spawn from the hill, which with some pretty good head glitches. But this one's a pretty simple hill, just in general. You know, spawning back alley, they're spawning tunnel, and you just kind of have to make your move from there. Those top and bottom middle garage spawns don't happen often because most of the time you're not going to spawn up back alley and take a really, really deep pinch tunnel. It just wouldn't make very much sense. So I would say this is a pretty simple one when it comes to Skid Row in general. Now let's go through an in-game scenario and wrap this video up. And for the final in-game scenario, you have me here on P5. I'm getting the tunnel spawn, and since I'm getting the tunnel spawn, I know that they're probably coming from ticket or garage, so I'm going to try and just pressure the old hill. And the good play right here for me is to just get up top P2 and make sure to just kind of overlook the hill in general. So I'm overlooking the hill. I'm going to be able to do some damage here. I got some people over here by the dumpster, and like I was just showing you again, if they're coming from the alley, they're going to do one of two things. They're going to either try and cross ticket booth, which is right here, or they're going to go through the garage. So this top P2 is a very good spot to be like basically in a power position to get some kills and to do a lot of damage to help your team actually cross sometimes. This is more of like a main AR's role in general most of the time, especially in like a rank play. But you're going to see that as I just kind of get up here, I have all these gunfights that I can be taking because I just know exactly where to look. And now you can see too that one of my teammates just spawned top middle. So that means someone could either have been flanking tunnel, or again, he could actually apply a lot of pressure towards that ticket spawn as well, depending on the kills that we get. So watch this out just for, you know, the sake of the video. I spawn over here back alley. Most likely that means they're spawning tunnel. So as I'm kind of pushing here, you see that I'm, you know, setting up for this P1 with the time running down, and I'm making sure that no one's either going around over here to bottom middle, and I'm trying to like cut this off too, which if this was a good team and this wasn't bronze rank, this isn't a very high rank, these guys would probably be trying to rotate right now. So just having some fun with it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And, you know, as always, I'm here to help you guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.